Hey guys, welcome back. Did you know professional wrestling isn't real? Gasp! Just wanted to get that out of the way as a quick disclaimer, as I actually like professional wrestling. Um, a lot more than like in some instances, but it really is like a fascination that I've had ever since I was a kid. It's just something about professional wrestling as a whole. It's kind of like the glitz, the glamour, the pageantry, there's just so much that goes on in professional wrestling that I just kind of enjoy all of it. Like, I remember being a small kid at one point, like looking up to people like the Macho Man and stuff like that, and just being like, "Oh man, it's so cool!" And like then you go through like droughts where you like not so much, and then it comes back. It just feels like one of those reoccurring things. Like I remember as a kid, I already mentioned like the Macho Man, but also people like Shawn Michaels and The Rock. They just kind of like Chris Jericho. Even they're like really cool guys, and like you know what? Let's run it back real quick and address the elephant in the room. That whole thing. Anybody who's ever liked professional wrestling has had a friend who, when they find out that you like professional wrestling, they look at you and they say, it's not real, right? And it's like, there's only two answers. There's either, yes, duh, I know it's not real. Did you really think that I thought that it was real? But for me, the answer always comes down to is like, you're right. You're right. It's not real. Like, all those times that I I can't believe I was so foolish to believe that that one wrestler really hated another guy so much that they decided to meet up at a specific time and place, and it wouldn't be settled until one of them went through a wooden table. It's like, of course I know. I know that a professional wrestler isn't real, just as well as I know that like, what was the best way to put it? Like, I know that like Joe Anoa'i, or however you say his last name, he's not actually a tribal chief, and the head honcho of an entire island of people. I know that just as much as I know that like Chris Evans isn't a World War II era super soldier who is capable of throwing a shield like a frisbee to get it to come right back to him. I know that professional wrestling isn't real in a sense that it's a show, it's a performance, and that's what I love the most about it. It is a performance. It's designed to entertain and you can't sufficiently like enjoy it unless you can, suspend your disbelief, which that's the part that I try to enjoy the most about it. I try not to be a stickler. Somebody who's like, "Oh, it has to be real." Like, no, it doesn't have to be real. In fact, I feel like it's even more enjoyable when you acknowledge that professional wrestling is not real in a sense that they're not actually trying to harm each other. There's very rare instances that they do, but for the most part, there's no actual animosity. It's just two guys putting on a show, just like figure skating or gymnastics. It's like, I know that it's a performance. It's a play. It's basically a play in real time. And the cool thing about it is the fact that, you don't oftentimes get to see the cast of the Avengers basically perform an entire movie, like a whole 3-hour Avengers movie in real time on stage, and just so you're like, ooh, and you're and you're clapping and all those things. Like, no, it'd be exhausting, and how many takes they have to do in order to get it right. Like, they'll do one scene and they might have to do like 50 takes, and then have another scene where it might take them like 15 takes, and then they'll have like another scene that they might get like first or second try, and then have to stitch these things together and post editing and kind of make it into the most entertaining version of what it is possible. Meanwhile, professional wrestling, what do? They do a lot of practice. Yeah, they do. But once the cameras are rolling, there's no retake 9 times out of 10. It's, all right, cool, we're here for the next 2 to 4 hours, sometimes even longer than that. And if you mess up, that's in the final take. There's no undoing it. So then I feel like they have to, you have to really just be an expert of your craft. And I feel like that's one of the big things that I really appreciate about the business. Obviously, there's some characters that people can look at and they say like, oh, like there's characters who are like, 90% character and 10% skill, and then there's also the opposite end where there's people who are like 90% skill and 10% character. I think some examples that you might look at is like currently some people say like there's one guy named Trick Williams who's like, man, when he holds the mic, everybody loves him. They eat everything that he says, and that's what a good character can do. They can just kind of get you to be like, oh wow, I want to hear what he has to say. But then like, and that's the more beneficial thing in professional wrestling that I love, is that like if you have a good character that people want to see, it doesn't matter if you're a saggy bag of potatoes in the ring. They want to see you there, and that's what they're paying for. Like going back to the Roman Reigns guy, one could argue that like his character carries him a lot further than his actual in-ring skill. But I wouldn't say that he's the worst example of that. But then there's people who like historically, like people like maybe like a Daniel Bryan, or like even in some cases Bret Hart or the Kurt Angle or whatnot. How they could have easily fallen into the trap. They're super skilled performers, but thank goodness that they found a character that people actually can be interested in, because otherwise, like oh cool, it's a great technical show, but we're not watching it for the technicality. At least not more often than not. A lot of times, people are just watching it for entertainment, and ultimately, that's what you need to be. It's entertaining, but I've always loved these things about it, and it doesn't matter which chapter of my life I'm in. I always have liked professional wrestling. I have had friends who like professional wrestling. Like, I still catch myself doing the too cool, the click signal with some of my closer friends, and it's like I can't help it. It's just such a cool thing. It oozes cool, and I like to do that. Another example that you might be looking at is just like, man, there's just so much like about it. It's just like I personally find it like, I feel like there's only two ways to look at it. It's either you think professional wrestling is cool, or you think it's lame. But one thing that really helps me enjoy professional wrestling is I actually got to train for a few weeks in the process. I think it was like 2.5 weeks. I was being trained by a guy at a mall. The guy's name is Sean Hernandez, Sean Supermex Hernandez, something like that. And man, he was a great guy. Was like he's dead. No, he's alive. But he was a great guy, great coach. And what I appreciated about it is that he was like willing to teach you like the hard style of professional wrestling, which basically boiled down to, it's like, if you don't know how to take a hit, if you don't know how to make a hit look convincing, then the only option you really have was to take the hit. And like he had showed us while we were in training that like he was like missing his back teeth, like his molars, because of all the times that he took forearm shots to the head, because that was his philosophy. It was just like he knew he sucked at selling a hit. I don't know how to make it look like I am getting hit for real. So what I'll do instead is just like he doesn't know how to make it look real. So his solution was, okay, I'll just get hit, right? You don't have to worry about faking a hit or making a hit look convincing. If you just tell the guy to just like let her rip, just smack me right inside of my face, just grab me by my head and shoot your forearm right into the side of my face. And at that point, it's just like, all right, cool. Like, what if I hurt you? She's like, bro, we're like grown men here. Like, if you hurt me, I'm A, not going to complain about it, and B, good. That means you're doing a good job. I mean, that's all it comes down to, right? Just do a good job. And oh man, it was just so much fun being in there. Honestly, it's kind of sick at this point where like I'm kind of now at a point where I'm like, Oh, when I watch pro wrestling and I see like them do things that are like just absolutely absurd, I'm just like, I can't help but grin and be like, oh man, that was fun. Like if I see a guy take a chop to the chest, like I don't even care like how it looks afterwards. Like they can welt up, it can be just gross and ugly, and like, oh man, who would voluntarily take that kind of abuse? And I'm now like watching pro wrestling, like, yeah, me, I would all day. That looks like that's the fun stuff. Just getting like there's something satisfying about the chop across the chest, this the wet smack, and then the audience reaction, the audible gasp, where it's like, oh my goodness, what just happened? And if it's performed correctly, then you don't even have to like worry about it actually hurting. That's the crazy thing about it. If the guy hits the chest in like just the right way, like the worst, like it's basically there's like a box that's like it's like in the chest, on the upper chest. It's below the neck, but it's like around like the mid area. And if they hit you within the box, it's like, yeah, it might sting, but it doesn't hurt nearly as bad as it sounds. Like a good chop, like I was actually really good at these things. Like I could light somebody up real easy, and it was actually like pretty cool. Being able to do it. So like when I see like other people do it, I'm just like, oh man, if there's one thing that wants me to get back into it more than anything, it's that. Plus the storytelling. There's so many stories I'd love to tell in professional wrestling. The difference between like the good guys and the bad guys, and the feelings and the emotions behind it all. And I'm just like, I would just love to get back into it, man. If I could, if things take off, like let's say like the channel gets good, I start making like a good side hustle, and like my work is still like maintaining good, then I would just absolutely love to just just get back into professional wrestling and just be just get out there, get my name like out there, and like have people be able to be like, oh yeah, it's that Atlashine guy. Now he's like a turned pro wrestler, like like, and plus like they've shown plenty of online personalities, like I Show Speed and Logan Paul are currently in pro wrestling, but then you also have like other people like Jelly Roll, who does a thing every here and there, and it's just like it looks like fun all the way around. Oh, Lolly's here. And cat. But like that's what I would like to do if I had like the spare time and funds to get into like another hobby. I'd love to like go. I mean, obviously at this point in my life, it's highly unlikely that I could have a successful professional wrestling career. It's not to say like never say never, right? People like Dave Bautista and Diamond Dallas Page actually are great examples of guys who are well past their prime that you might think, before they either got into professional wrestling or at least made it big. And I mean, they're both former world champions. Batista, like super big world champion. He oh, there you are, Joey. Even got into Hollywood, and Diamond Dallas Page, he has his little yoga thing as well. So like, it's one of those things where it's like never say never. Who knows what could happen? If I'm going to do it, I like to do it by like 40, but 40 is right around the corner. So I'd have to like start doing the work like right now. Like me personally, be like, oh yeah, I gotta start losing weight and getting my cardio up. But we'll see how that ultimately looks. But between like watching it on TV, playing the video games, like, oh man, who didn't like try to perform their favorite wrestling moves on a trampoline or at a pool with their friends? I mean, ladies, I'm sure you know, some of you might understand, a lot of you probably don't. But for those of you who don't understand the urge, I hope that you can at least see like your fellow friends and be like, yeah, but like I understand why they would want to do it. I would never want to do it. It's just kind of crazy, but like, that's it's just a part of me, and it's always gonna be a part of me. I don't think there's ever gonna be a time where I don't like wrestling as a whole. There are times where I don't like what the promotions do, but that's just life, really, what it comes down to. Sometimes you have good stories, sometimes you have bad stories. Without any spoilers, WrestleMania, biggest show of the year, just passed this past weekend. I'd say overall, my personal opinion, it was kind of mid. There were some cool, memorable moments. I feel like there are some stories that should have reached a conclusion a little bit differently. Certain things should have been pushed different, or could have been pushed